Morning, everyone. Meteorologist Hutch Johnson joining you on this Monday morning. Strong storms approaching Fargo Moorhead now. Here's the latest look at the radar and a quick update for you, as we do have some that have become severe in Fargo right now. Just now, a severe thunderstorm warning issued. Here we go. This version of Hutch's weather. We're going to get right to it. The National Weather Service has just issued a severe thunderstorm warning for the FM area. That includes Fargo, that includes Moorhead, it also includes Dilworth and Hawley. Kindred, you're just on the edge of this severe thunderstorm warning. Also, it looks like we have the Wahpeton area with a stout thunderstorm making its way in this general direction. Here's what the basics are from the National Weather Service Forecast Office. We've got 1-inch diameter hail that's been observed. 1-inch diameter hail has been reported with this storm, with wind gusts to 60 miles per hour expected and possible from this line of thunderstorms as it makes its way into the FM area. For Wahpeton, we have a storm that does have a hail potential. It's working its way just towards Wahpeton and Breckenridge, Doran also in the path of that storm. And farther south, this backward C shape indicates a windy line of storms moving just north of Wheaton and through Wheaton right now, with that hail core just to the north. Here's a closer look at this radar, and Prairie Rose and West Fargo seeing the latest, but we're going to go in and take a look at the live single site radar now, as you'll see the scanning mechanism work on its magic on the front of the storm here. So we'll go here, select the Mayville radar, and we'll be off to business. So this storm is impacting North Fargo with a core of hail, and West Fargo on the north side of town. We're talking about that I-94 corridor and Main Avenue area of town on the north side. So Fargo, downtown Fargo. Here's the South Interstate loop as it works its way right out of Moorhead and into Fargo. That's where the core of the hail is right now. Down here in Oxbow, you can see this bright white pixel. That's the heaviest hail core showing up on the radar display right now. So hail up to 1 inch in diameter is possible if you have time and you're waking up, and not a lot of lightning as you can see from this, but if you're waking up, a hail producing thunderstorm with 1-inch diameter hail, 1-inch diameter hail is the size of a quarter. So now let's go ahead and track the leading edge of this storm and give you an idea of when it will be in your neck of the woods here. Whoopsie. Let me see again how fast the Weather Service has it moving. 49 miles per hour. So the line arriving just a little bit earlier than anticipated by models, and that happens sometimes when they speed up the leading edge, moving at nearly 50 miles per hour. Here is a list of the communities. It'll be in the FM area, Fargo and Moorhead now at about 6:20, 6:21. Good morning. Thank you so much, Deborah. Good morning, Andrea. Let's see what we got out here. I got some messages already. And if you do have a report, yep, I'm on downtown and it is storming now. Andrea, thank you very much. Deborah, thank you for watching and thanks for your support of stars. So the strongest hail core moving right into downtown Fargo area right now. Now that's what the radar sees above the ground. Where it actually makes its way all the way down to the ground may be there, but it may be a little bit farther downstream. The radar now, though, depicting some pretty intense hail. Wahpeton, Breckenridge, same thing for you. Now, if you're in Dilworth, 625, the storm should be approaching your particular area. Look at Glendon at 631, Hawley by 645 if this storm maintains its intensity. Now, it does have this backwards C shape to it, and that is called a bow echo, like a bow and arrow, and that usually at the apex of the bow where it's curved the most is where the gustiest winds will be also. So this is a little look. Detroit Lakes, if it maintains its current rate of speed, I can hear the trees outdoors now really rustling. 7:09, the storm will approach parts of central and southern Becker County as we go through. So we'll clear that out. Let's go ahead and take a closer look at the radar again. I do want to analyze the spin in the storm. Now, this mainly is going to have the wind risk today, and apparently we've got some hail reports too. Now it's crossing out of Oxbow, getting ready to cross into the South Moorhead area here. Basically on the south side of town is a very stout hail core right there. And in central parts of Fargo, we're talking about the Highway 10 corridor here as it works its way across. Trying to determine whether that's hail I'm hearing ticking off the patio or if it's just heavy rain. So it is hitting South Moorhead right now. So this radar is very, very accurate here. Here's I-94, South Fargo here. And we'll see what happens with hail as it comes into town. So You have just minutes to get the vehicle in the garage. You do not necessarily want to park under trees. This could come with a pretty good gust of wind through the Fargo area with this backward C shape here. Man, those winds will come straight out of the west. So you have a little bit of time to batten down the hatches in the Fargo area and Moorhead. Fargo's already getting it. Valley City, here's the lightning behind the storm. Bink, 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 right on Interstate 94. So from Valley City all the way through Tower City, we have some lightning reported with the storm from the Lightning Detection Network. We could take a look at a couple of these strikes, by the way, and it looks like 9 minutes ago was this strike on the interstate just east of Valley City as it punched its way through. Enderlin had a flash, but this was 12.5 minutes ago, and now I'm starting to hear rumbles of thunder from Fargo. Now, if you see a flash of lightning, one cool thing is you don't want to be outside standing in it, but when the sky lights up, you start counting 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. The speed of sound in the atmosphere with average temperature travels 1 mile in 5 seconds. So for 5 seconds, 1 mile. So you watch for the flash, start counting. When you hear the rumble of thunder, you can stop counting. And if it's less than 5 seconds, well, then it's less than a mile away from you. Let's go in and analyze this storm blowing through the Richland County area here. We do have Wahpeton on the doorstep of a pretty stout thunderstorm. It too does have a backward C shape as it's working its way through the Wahpeton Breckenridge area. I do have hail now. Give me 1 minute. I'll give you a report. Okay, sorry about that. I have what appears to be, I've not measured it yet. I did not go outside. Nickel-sized hail in South Moorhead right now. Nickel-sized hail in South Moorhead. That would be right here just south of the interstate loop here in Moorhead. So this area here right off the interstate, that is where I'm seeing, that is where I'm seeing the nickel-sized hail at this particular time. It does look like that hail core is focusing on that Oxbow area and heading in towards the general direction of you folks near Sabin and South Dilworth and South Glendon right now. So that is some sizable hail there. Gusty winds could be estimated to be upwards of 60 miles per hour from this storm. Again, Fargo and Moorhead now. Sabin, that looks like, let me move this box out of the way. Sabin, it looks like 627. The hail-producing storm will be heading in your general direction. Hawley, 647 for you. No hail, Shadow Creek by the lights. Thank you for your report. Nail hail in West Fargo. Kara, where are you at exactly? So from the lights area in West Fargo, no hail reported. Kara has some hail. Non-stop hail, Shadow Creek by the lights now. Non-stop lightning, South Fargo, and howling wind. Thank you so much, Pepper, for your update there. And I'm by West Fargo High. So West Fargo High School, where is the hail? And Horace, where is the hail by them? Okay, so Horace, now the hail core is making its way right over the Red River Valley right now. So Horace, wouldn't anticipate a lot of hail right now in Horace, as it looks like the radar is showing that the core of that storm is moving off to the east, but there is some just on the north side of Horace as you go into West Fargo. On the south side of town, we could still be seeing some hail with that, but it looks like the scan is showing most of that hail core. Just a little hail, not a lot, says Dylan. Thank you. And Jesse says hail in Moorhead. Thank you so very much. Hey, do me a favor and pass along or tag a friend that we've got Hutch live with some severe weather coverage this morning as the storm makes its way through the area. Hankinson, we still have this backward C shape to the radar. Down here, I might be able to get a little bit of a wind estimate from the Aberdeen radar because it's going to look along the direction the wind is blowing. Thank you, Julie, for joining me. Hearing hail in South Moorhead, dime-sized. Okay, good. That's pretty close to what I'm noticing, too. Dime-size, maybe nickel-size on the largest stones. Thanks, Laura, for the sending of stars. H. Gotti, thank you for the kudos there. On the storms as they're making their way through. Roslyn down to Webster, we have storms. Let me go ahead and look at the wind speeds here. Look at this. Now we switched radars to the Aberdeen one, and it shows this Wheaton storm pretty hot as well. And again, you have this backwards C shape looking like a bow, right? This here is a bow echo. I'll get my crayon out here. When Hutch gets his crayon out, things are getting a little bit serious, but there it is. That's the curve shape I'm talking about. That means we have west winds punching this way, and it's accelerating the central part of the storm because of those gusty winds in this direction from west to east, Tinta to Herman. We're going to be seeing some very gusty winds too. You may be seeing those in the Wheaton area. Let's measure them, shall we? For that, you always want to, if you're a radar person who likes to look at the data here, you can look at straight velocity called radial velocity. Don't use the storm relative, and you need to be looking right into the storm. If it's at an angle, then you need to use trigonometry to calculate all that fun maximum wind speeds. But if we go into this storm here, whoopsie, I got to turn my crayon off. Okay, here we go. As we go into the storm, let's go ahead and analyze just a little bit about what the wind speeds are that we're seeing here. Where we see the bright stuff here, right along Highway 55 going through Fairmount, the radar is estimating at elevation, just above the ground, 50 to 55 miles per hour winds. Now, this is not straight into the beam of the radar. You can see there is a little bit of an angle, so it's going to be greater than 55 mile per hour winds by, well, let's see, opposite over hypotenuse. That would be the cosine, a factor of the cosine of this angle that it makes there. So a little bit of trigonometry for you math teachers out there. You can help us all figure it out. But the wind speeds on this could generally be a little bit over 55 miles per hour in some of these hot spots that we're seeing right here. Did I see if that was 49, not 59? So gusty straight line winds possibly mixing down to the ground. No warning for the storms on the south side. As far as spin goes, there is a little bit of outward motion here along that front. And on occasion, it's not going to be common with this storm. It's not going to be the main threat. But on occasion, along the leading edge of a gust front, we can get what's called a little gust-nado forming, gusty brief tornado possible. If there is going to be one of those where we see the reds and the greens right next to each other here, that might be where that is. But this is a pretty weak signature, so I'm not overly concerned about that. What I will do is go back now and look at, for you radar aficionados out there, storm relative velocity. And now the colors get a little brighter because what it's doing is it's mixing in this storm motion. We're all going, no, Chauncey, we're not all going to die. That's not the case, but we do have a lot of thunder and lightning over the area now and a severe thunderstorm warning, meaning don't run outside with your golf clubs right now. We do have a little bit of rain and hail. It sounds like the hail has stopped here in South Fargo. Moving into Campbell right now, we got this little bit of what I would call a velocity couplet right here. Bright greens next to some brighter reds where the storm is rotating a bit there. Here you see greens next to reds, but you notice how the green is this way and that's motion toward the radar. And the red is right next to it, but it's closer to the radar. This is more of a rolling feature that the radar is seeing in the low part of the atmosphere, not necessarily a spin that's oriented horizontally. This would be a slice of the atmosphere, and oh, we got wind blowing away from the radar here and towards it. That's the rotation in that particular cell. Doesn't mean there's a tornado, but there is a little spin along the leading edge of the line. We do have some storms now with the greatest winds right here approaching Sabin. So Sabin, you got some pretty gusty winds over you right now. Huge thunder, says Kara. Thank you very much for your report as well. So here's the idea. We'll update you on this latest warning, a thunderstorm warning. The storm, it appears, has moved through the main part of the FM area, moving off into parts of Clay County now. It's going to be moving over Glendon shortly. It's also over Sabin with some gusty winds shortly. Let's get right back to the single site radar. I'm going to switch it back to, now let's just leave the Aberdeen radar. It's doing a good job on this whole southern line. We're seeing the hail core here just north of Barnesville, getting ready to cross over I-94. If you do have pictures of the hail in your neighborhood, it's handy to take a picture next to a ruler with the largest stones you find. So when it's safe to do so and there's not lightning and thunder all over your area. And by the way, the thunder is not associated with the leading edge of the storm at this one. It's back here on the backside of the thunderstorms. So we're going to have the leading edge move through first, and then we're going to get a lot more thunder and lightning with heavy rain. This rain band is impressive. We'll look at rainfall amounts here real quickly and get you updated on that too as you're getting ready to head out the door. Tornado sirens going off in Breckenridge. Okay, let's see what we got going on here. So thank you for the update. If that's the case, thank you for your report. report. It's always appreciated. Let's see, I got to keep my eyes on your messages here. Tornado sirens, Madison says, going off in Breckenridge. I'm going to try to verify that with the National Weather Service. Let's see, Pedro sounded opinionated about the radar. He's back here helping me out as always. My crew is here. Pedro, the prognosticating puppy, and Leo, the lion, Leonardo DiCaprio, the feline forecaster, all here. Large pea-size hail, North Moorhead, 620. Steve, thank you very much. Now, this is a large swath of rain, but there is the gusty winds making their way into the Wahpeton, Breckenridge area right now. And apparently the sirens have been going off in Breck for around 5 minutes, says Molly. Thank you for the live updates. Live updates, we got tornado sirens in the Breckenridge area. I'm going to go ahead and dial into the National Weather Service here and not call them up, but I'm going to look at what they've got reported. Okay, it just says they're expecting some quarter-sized hail from the wind and 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, but I don't have a report of the tornado sirens going off. And sirens reported to have been sounded in Breckenridge for over 5 minutes. Okay, thank you. The Facebook. Okay, so that's what's going on. I passed along your report live. I felt the National Weather Service may want to do some looking into that. There's hail at my house. Tommy, let me know where your house is. That'd be wonderful as a report. Appreciative of the 3-member crew, says Avis. You bet. Let's take a measurement of how long it's going to rain, because this is a heavy amount of rain coming and it's going to last. So this is the leading edge of the thunderstorm. We just got a dose of rain, and that was the heavy, sharp rain. Back behind it, we've got moderate to heavy showers that look to last for quite a while. I'm going to measure the length of this path. The storm is moving easterly, so it's pretty easy to tell. We're going to have a path of rain, if it persists, that's 120 miles long. It's moving. This leading edge is moving at 50 miles per hour. This backside edge maybe not moving quite as fast, but over 2 hours of rain. It's not going to rain the entire time, but the rain is going to stick around. Donnie says, rain, go away. Not all of us love rain, but I'll tell you what, we sure needed it. We sure needed it here in the FM area, and our ag crops could use a nice drink of water, so it's providing some good stuff. This is an update not to scare anybody, so don't be worried about that. Just take your proper precautions, and if you have time to protect your property. The hail is a threat with this 1-inch diameter hail this morning, and wind gusts in isolated places along this path are going to hit upwards of 60 miles per hour. How much rain has fallen? Hutch wants to know. What fell with this first batch? For that, we have a great network of instruments called the North Dakota Agricultural Weather Network. Let's go and look at the precipitation today. That's from this morning. Now, the storms last night were rocking their way around the midnight hour through southwest parts of North Dakota. Over 1.5 inches of rain reported out there on the north side of the park. North of Medora Beach, we're at 0.59 in the north side and northern parts of Medora. Bismarck Mandan picking up a 1/4 inch, but northern Burley County at 0.4 of an inch, and the Morton County area picking up 1.65 inches of rainfall today. That batch of rain we just had, 0.4 of an inch at the North Fargo site there for the North Dakota Agricultural Weather Network, and it's just starting to rain in parts of Minnesota, and that's starting to show up on the plot as well. So we've got up to around 1/2 of an inch of rain already from this, and we got 2 hours of rain on the backside of this. Rainfall reports here to the west showing 6,700ths in the Jamestown area. We've got 1.31 in southwestern parts of Morton County. Heavy rain and thunder, says Jerry, in the Breckenridge area, and D says a good morning boomer that'll roll you right out of bed real quick. So rainfall amounts upwards of 1/2 inch, and on the backside of the storm where it's been raining longer, between 3/4 or let's say 2/3 of an inch and 1.1 inches. Now, if we take a look at the radar estimates real quick, we'll take a look at the radar wind estimates as well, with the line of storms making their way through the area right now. These are rapidly pushing off towards Fergus Falls. For now, let's go ahead and get back to the radar here. It looks like super windy, pouring rain, thunder and lightning in Dilworth now. So the Fargo area has the storm all but through the area. Let me see if I can clear the line path here. There we go. Okay, so the hail core right now pushing into areas north of Breckenridge. Gusty winds will be possible. Here was a hail report, 1-inch diameter hail, reported by a train spotter in West Fargo. So that was the source of the thunderstorm warning. The storm hit the area. 1-inch hail was reported. The warning was issued. So that was in the west side of West Fargo here. It looks like between Main Street and Interstate 94 is where that report came in at. West Fargo, and actually, let's go this way. The Red River Valley, Fargo, into Moorhead is where the heaviest of the rain is. I can tell you the rain has let up considerably here in the south side of Moorhead down here. So this little Boeing shape looks to be pretty accurate. But that hail core now is heading right down Interstate 94. It looks like it's not far from the turn right here as you go just off the Sabin exit. So we do have a pretty fair amount of hail being reported right here. It's moving off to the east right now into rural parts of the county, just south of Hawley. So if you live south of Hawley in some of those places, that's where the main hail core is with this particular thunderstorm cell. Then we have another couple cells down here that have just passed through the Breckenridge Wahpeton area, and those are pushing off to the east towards Fergus Falls right now. Thank you for the kudos, Mitch. I appreciate you all very much. I'll keep you up to date here. I'm going to tell you what, I'm going to continue to update you. I do have a video on here with the forecast, but these storms beat the models, and they got here sooner because they started moving at 50 miles per hour through the overnight hours. It looks like we've either got a fog advisory, a dense fog advisory out in the Jamestown area right now too. So there is on the backside of this enough moisture, low-level moisture and cooling temperatures to create fog or a cloud on the ground. Very still, rumbling, but quiet otherwise in South Fargo. Thanks, Avis, for your report. Okay, so not so quiet weather is going to be making its way into Barnesville, Hawley. There is a warning in effect for this storm for 1-inch hail and gusts up to 60 miles per hour. And then as we look southward on the interstate, moving into Otter Tail County, including Pelican along 108 here, and the Fergus Falls area from Wahpeton and the Breckenridge area, I expect that to continue rolling along. I believe that's 210 down there in the area of Wahpeton, Breckenridge, and heading into western parts of Otter Tail County. Tinta, here's a good-sized hail core making its way here. So from Campbell to Tinta, this is a pretty good signature. Again, we got that backwards C-shape, gusty wind, and a hail core here that's going to be crossing just south of Tinta and north of Norcross. It's moving east at a clip of about 45 to 50 miles per hour. Let's go ahead and measure the winds in this particular storm that the radar is seeing at altitude or elevation and see if it's detecting anything that's significant there. It looks like we do have some wind gusts that the radar is seeing that are approaching 50 miles per hour. Again, this is off the ground, so what gets mixed down to the ground could be a little bit more or a little bit less in your particular area. Where we see the brightest red colors is where the radar is picking up the strongest winds. So there is a core co-located in the same spot as the Boeing echo or segment of the storm right here in the Wheaton area. That gusty wind. Thank you very much for all of your stars. I hear the dings coming in, and I appreciate all your feedback. Donnie says Big Stone Lake is getting full. Okay, so down south, Big Stone Lake filling up. Lake Traverse, not so bad. Thanks, Donnie, for your report. That's good to know. I mean, our reservoirs fill up now in the early part of summer, and those definitely I believe the core operates those, and there's flows of water that continue to benefit the ag area and the crops as we go into the summer months. So getting them a little fuller isn't a bad thing, but there's a lot of rain on the way. So rainfall estimates out to the west. Fargo's got 0.4 of an inch of rain from the main line. We have a very thick swath of rain that will be making its way through that could last over 2 hours here, stretching from Jamestown to Fargo. We're getting a little bit of a break right behind the leading edge of this, and then upwards of 2 hours of rain, I calculated, because it's over 100 miles long. That means moving at 50 miles per hour if this whole this is a cluster of thunderstorms, and it has a shape to it here. This shape could be called a mesoscale convective vortex, because we can actually see this backwards comma shape here, and that indicates that we do have this wind around the storm being created by these thunderstorms. And once they form this type of what we call a small scale low pressure system, we end up with a warm front, a cold front, and circulation around a small, tiny low pressure system, and the L would be stapled right here. So there's south winds on the front side. Then you can actually see that it looks like it's curling back this way. On the back side, you got this little finger hanging down over here. That would be where your winds are likely switching and becoming northwesterly. So that's a look at what's going on there. I'm going to plot temperatures right now as we take a look at where the vortex is here. We got temperatures around 63 degrees. I'll erase my crayons. Now let's look at wind gusts up here. The gusty winds right now, stronger down to the south, 22 miles per hour recorded out at the Hector International Airport. Oops, I got to erase my crayon and turn it off. Now, when I click on this, I should be able to get the details of the rest of the measurements. This wind, 22 miles per hour, is from, let's see, that's the wind gust, so I'm not able to do that. Let's go to temperatures, and now I can look at the whole plot for Fargo. So the dew point is 61, the temperature is 63. They're very close together, so low clouds and fog not going to be out of the question. Hail scattered through the FM area, says Chantel. That's true. Thank you for helping answer questions to other users here, because I'm certain I'm missing some. The wind is from 270 degrees. That's westerly wind. So that's caused by the thunderstorms. So we have a west wind now. Some areas may be getting a northerly flow, and where we see the wind switching to a northerly direction, like let's see what Fargo, Bismarck is at, they're from the north. Okay, so that means a severe threat is going to pass them. Today's severe threat, this is a live update, by the way. You're watching meteorologist Hutch Johnson. You can catch me on hutchesweather.com live right now on my website, on your mobile device or otherwise. Wow, that was a booming South Moorhead rumble of thunder. Did you hear that? That shook the windows here in South Moorhead. Okay, so this Mezoscale vortex, we do have a risk of severe weather this morning, and as we go through the remainder of the day, this threat is going to be with us. But later in the day, a redevelopment of thunderstorms has 3 levels of severe risk encapsulated here, where you see the orange, Wilmer to the Brainerd Lakes area, to Malacca, all the way to Minneapolis, Mankato, down to Montevideo and Sioux Falls. This is called an enhanced risk of severe weather. There's only 2 levels higher. This is a level 3 on a 5-level scale. We should see a number, or the potential for a number, of severe storms in this orange area. Gusty winds that would be straight lined. Cannot rule out a tornado with those, and hail that could be very large in this area. But there's a good risk, a high risk, I should say, of that activity. Let's go and look at the categories today. Now, the yellow, that's called a slight risk. So from Lakes Country in Otter Tail County, Becker County, and near Bemidji to Brainerd, the storms are going to refire up this afternoon, according to models, as we go through. So this is a look at the Storm Prediction Center's areas of risk. Slight risk in yellow, meaning a few severe thunderstorms will be possible. What's the green that Fargo's in? This is called marginal. A marginal risk is a level 1 on that 5-level scale. It means storms could possibly, but not likely, flirt with severe levels. So we could have a few severe storms, and flirting with severe levels means hail up to 1 inch in diameter, means winds up to about 60 miles per hour, but even larger hail, stronger winds. So here's the tornado probability today, and you see this area right here. That area is labeled as a 5% risk of tornadoes from Brainerd to Wilmer to Mankato to Rochester to Mason City, Iowa, Brookings, South Dakota. You're in this area where we have a risk of 5%. The green area, that's a 2% risk of tornadoes today. That includes Fergus Falls, Otter Tail County, and Bemidji. So that's the tornado risk. Looks like a manta ray eel there or whatever. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the risk for, hail. The conditional risk for hail is huge in these areas. So we're going to have some very large hail potential with these storms. This is 30% chance of severe sized hail within 30 miles of any point in here. So it doesn't mean everybody in that circle is getting hail, but there's a 30% risk of hail within 30 miles of any point in that red area. The yellow area is that 15% risk area, and we did have some hail that was severe sized in Fargo this morning. I will take a look at the model for you. Tried to upload the hail that was in West Fargo online for you. Okay, maybe I heard that. Let's go right to hutchesweather.com here. And I want to just go ahead and double check and see if I've got your photo, because I don't want it to just sit there and sit on the shelf. If we got a hail report, I would love to see what we've got here. So give me 1 second. I'll prove the photo. Yep. Oh, I've got a video, Kara. Thank you very much. And let's go ahead and see. We'll go ahead and prove it. Hail moving through West Fargo. You can see the video now. Let's go ahead and look at it together, and you'll see how hutchesweather.com is a great source. And we'll get back to the timing on storms for later today. Hail is a significant threat, and I will switch this over to look at the risk for wind. Wind damage is going to be most possible in parts of Nebraska today, and we do have a significant risk of windy storms in the entire portion of southern Minnesota and southeasternmost North Dakota and all of South Dakota for the most part. Okay, that's a look at those risks. Now let's go to hutchesweather.com real quick. Hutchesweather.com, thanks for checking it out. My fine sponsors on the page here all make it possible, and we'll go ahead and take a look at this photo together here that was uploaded. What you do when you get to hutchesweather.com is it has the interactive radar for you. You can zoom in. I'll give you an industry secret. If you hold both mouse buttons down on your computer desktop, and if you're watching on your laptop or your phone, you can do this as well, but there's a tilting mechanism on this. Really cool. You can spin or tilt it. You just got to go real slow movements here to get it back to where you want it to go. Down a little bit lower, if you scroll down, you can sign up your kids to be a Hutch's Weather Kid. Love to have your youngster on board helping me with the weather. Brought to you by my friends at Luther Family Ford. And right here you see the gallery of photos. Dumb Blazers Painting, by the way, they are one of the sponsors of Hutch's Weather. Find out more details by clicking on Dumb Blazers logo down at the bottom. But if you let them know that Hutch sent you and you have a painting, interior or exterior, they're bonded, they're insured, and they cover the tri-state area. They'd love to help you out and give you that quote today. Let them know Hutch sent you. You get the Hutch discount. Let them know that detail. Okay, let's go to the valley. Let's click on View the Gallery together, and we'll show you the video. This is the hail moving through West Fargo. Not all of West Fargo got the 1-inch diameter hail, but there was a report of 1-inch diameter hail out there. Kara got the lightning, the thunder, and there it comes down. Looks like the trampoline made it through the storm good. That's okay, because sometimes these wind gusts can give us a flying trampoline alert. Hard to determine the largest stone there, Kara, but if you do get a chance, let me know what the largest stone measurement you might have would be. That would be helpful. Maybe you put it in the text of your alert. Hail moving through West Fargo is what I see here, and I appreciate that upload as well. We did have some beautiful photos shared from the weekend on Father's Day as well. A lot of dogs out there enjoying the weekend, and a lot of you out enjoying the powwow out there at White Earth. Thank you so very much for uploading your photos, Tiffany. Looked like a wonderful weekend for that celebration out there in White Earth. I'm going to try for a Hutch discount everywhere I go now, says Mitch. All right, I appreciate that. You can try. Tell them Hutch Johnson sent you and tell them to support Hutch's Weather. I would appreciate that as well. Okay, so that's a look at that. Let's get back to the radar real quick. It looks like the main part of the storm is certainly through the FM area. It's moving into parts of Clay County right now. We'll switch this back over to the regular radar view so we can take a peek at where the leading edge of storms are. The severe storms are few and far between right now. We do have what looks like an interesting shape here moving into Grant County right now. That is what I would call a hook echo. Hook echoes, it could be an individual thunderstorm forming over Herman and be a separate storm altogether. But if this is all one thunderstorm, that little hook, that little finger that you see right there over Herman, that would sometimes indicate where we might find rotation right in there. Let's look at the velocity displays and see what we got going on. I'm not seeing much on the velocity, the straight velocity, but I'll bet you if we take storm motion out, we might see some greens right here. Let's see if Hutch's estimate is right here, and we'll let this calculate. Jing, jing, jing. I'm not seeing that. So good news. I'm not seeing the velocity couplet right out here in the Herman area. Let me make sure that I'm using the radar out here in the Aberdeen area. So let me turn on the. Oh, that disappeared on me. Let me go back to the radar page. Pardon me while I switch the radar to the site that I want here, and it looks like. Site labels. There we go. There we go. Okay, gotta be here. I think my radar is getting tired. Maybe so. I might have to reboot. There's a new severe thunderstorm warning. This severe thunderstorm warning is actually for Holly. It looks like they've carved out Fargo. Fargo, we're out of the warning now. Moorhead, we're out of the warning. But if you are in Holly and Glendon, the warning continues for your areas. The leading core of the gusty straight line winds is Holly and Point South, where you see these brighter green colors here. We'll go ahead and take a look at what those velocities are that the Doppler radar is measuring above the ground. This is from a long away radar. This is from a radar in Aberdeen. So the actual wind speeds will be higher than what we're seeing here by a factor of that trigonometry we were talking about just a bit ago. So let's go ahead and look at the velocity display here. And the wind blowing away from the radar is the bright reds. So here we've got Comstock with some healthy wind speeds here. It looks like there's a Boeing line segment moving out of Barnesville and right toward the western edges of you folks in the Becker and Otter Tail County areas right now. Notice the bright wind here that's blowing away from the radar. So this will be very strong westerly winds pushing into Castleton right now as well. Max wind gusts of 60 miles per hour will be possible. I'm going to check those wind gusts right now on the very dense network of instruments provided by the North Dakota Agricultural Weather Network. And here we go. That's peak temperatures. That's not what I want. I want peak gusts. Let's go. So here's a look at the peak gusts across the area. Look at Clay County, not far from Sabin. You see the 38 there. That 38 that you see there, that is a look at where there's some pretty gusty winds that were on the south side of that storm. That's just outside. That's probably not far from the Dilworth area out there. Now, as we look down to the south, we're not seeing all of these, but we did have 30 plus mile per hour gusts there. Look what happened last night. Overnight, 81 mile per hour winds. That's down in that Hettinger, North Dakota area, 81 mile per hour gusts there. All right, I'm meteorologist Hutch Johnson. We got a new update from the National Weather Service that just came in for Otter Tail County, including Pelican Rapids. It's not a warning, but it is an update on the strong thunderstorm cluster that's moving its way into you. Let's get you the latest from the National Weather Service there. This is a weather statement for hail that could be upwards of nickel size and diameter. That's what they're expecting moving into the Pelican Rapids area and Lake Lida, as well as the Maplewood State Park area on 108 there. 50 mile per hour gusts appear to be likely with that. Peak gusts away from the radar here will be in red, and that's where we see the bright reds. The greens motion towards the radar, but we do definitely have some gusty wind core in that particular storm that's moving out of northern parts and north of the Wahpeton area right now. So we do have some stout thunderstorms working their way through, and it's exiting Fargo, Glendon, and Holly right now. The leading edge of the gusty wind here from Highway 10 and Point South is working its way out. Up to the north, we've got nada. Not much going on up to the north near Grand Forks. Some light rain just south of town. Mayville, anywhere along the Highway 200 corridor here. Some heavy rain, but it's not severe weather. So anywhere you see this big umbrella of rain on the backside, locally heavy rain that could last for up to 2 hours here in the widest part. So we've had the storms approaching the Fargo area. They got just on the doorstep at 6 o'clock this morning. And this swath of rain is upwards of 100 plus miles thick. So let's go ahead and measure that one more time. It's just on the east side of Jamestown. And the rain on the leading edge right here approaching the DL area, that line is 109.4 miles long. It's moving at about 50 miles per hour. So that's over 2 hours of rain. Now, as you notice in Fargo, we're getting a little break. There's a lull here, but more heavy rain is coming in. There will be some gusty winds with it. I hit the button and it still says 0. Big Stone Lake. Okay, good to know. Thank you, Donnie, for your report. Heading to Glendon from Fargo South. Hopefully it calms down soon. I think there's going to be more rain, so make sure the good old-fashioned windshield wiper fluid and the wipers are looking good for your trip, because it's going to be a wet one out there for sure. So radar estimates of rainfall here. Let's go ahead and take a look at that and see if they're close to the anywhere from 0.4 inches in Fargo that was measured in a rain gauge to around 1.6 inches west of Jamestown. So let's see what the radar estimates of rainfall are here. Dun, 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 dun. There we go. Now it takes it a second. It thinks it changes the color table here. And let me get rid of the line path. Okay, so you can see Fargo, Moorhead just had this heavy swath of rain. The radar picked up that heaviest swath of rain right there in that little area. Look at the rainfall amounts that are coming out here from the west. So you see the bright colors here where you see the pinks, the bright pinks. These areas here near Ashley and Wishick, that's the heavier rain. Western parts of Stutzman County got a little bit more than Jamestown. How much are we talking here? I'll turn the clock back on for you. Now let's go ahead and take a look at these. In and around Jamestown, the radar's estimating 3/4 of an inch. Let me know in the comments below what you got in your rain gauge. Medina, 1.0 inches of rain estimated in the Medina, Cleveland area. As you go down in southern parts of the Kidder County area here, that's upwards of 2 inches of rain estimated by Doppler radar right here south of Medina, south of Tappan. Some very heavy rain in those areas. So gully washers out there, get down towards Ashley and Wishick here. We got 1.5 inches. Zeeland, 1.6 inches. And look at this, the big winners where it's blue here in Grant County, they definitely needed some rainfall in this area, so that'll feed the Cannonball River. That'll feed the river valleys leading into the Missouri River Valley. 3.4 inches of rain. There could be some local flooding in these areas after 3+ inches of rain falling in the overnight hours. Watch those rural roads. So upwards of 3 inches of rain potentially fell in some areas in northern Grant County. Also, as we go down into southwest parts of the state, we see Mott, Elgin, New Leipzig, those areas seeing some heavier rain. Hettinger picking up some significant rainfall. Estimates here are 1/3 of an inch. But there was a report down there that we saw from the rain gauge from the it must be the Lemon, South Dakota area. So Lemon, South Dakota, radar estimates of 1.7 inches of rain. Then we compare these radar estimates to what actually fell into gauges here from the North Dakota Agricultural Weather Network. And this is kind of interesting when we look at the overnight rain since midnight. Here you go, down in southwest North Dakota, get down there in that Bowman-Hettinger area. Oh yeah, we got the 1.57 inches, 2.2 inches in northern Grant County there, so that matches up very nicely with the radar estimates that we were seeing peaking in northern Grant County. Now, Fargo-Moorhead is at 47 100ths and counting right now, and we've got another hour and a half of rain on the way here. So heavy rain moving back in. Now let's get back to that radar real quick, and then I'm going to sign off for this update. I'm going to update a few of my other platforms here to make sure everybody's up to speed with the latest. The warning does continue, at least it was on board here. Let me just double check. It was getting toward the ending side of the warning box, so it wouldn't be surprising to me if that warning was... Well, it's still in effect. You can see the leading edge of the thunderstorm activity is on the right edge of this thunderstorm warning. We had one report of severe hail in West Fargo. Pardon my pace here. The warning does last until 7 a.m., so for 2 more minutes. There is a very strong thunderstorm cell here moving right towards Ottertail Lake, Pelican Rapids, right over Pelican Rapids right now. So good old Pelican Pete, there's some thunder, lightning, and making its way right off on the north side of 108. If you are in the park down here in Maplewood, that's right down here on the south side. That area is going to get some very windy thunderstorms, but there's a hail core on the north side heading towards the Vergas area. Okay, so if you are out there in the Vergas area, Frazee, Star Lake, all of these areas, a pretty good size hail core is pushing its way towards you. The movement of this hail core is moving off to the east. It says 15 miles per hour. I'm not sure I believe that. I believe it could be moving a little bit faster than that. Wind gusts to 50. This whole cluster of storms has moved from Fargo to Hawley all the way through the county here in much less than an hour and moving at an average speed of about 50. So I'm going to go with that. So let's go ahead and track the movement of this hail core, shall we? There is the line of hail, potentially this, and I'm going to draw it. Whoops. Let's see if I can draw one here. Clear. Boom. All right, so we're going to draw the leading edge right here where it sits. And now we're going to move it to the east-northeast, and we'll put it at 45 miles per hour to be safe because I do think it's moving faster than 15. The city's in the path Vergas by 7:09. This strong thunderstorm cell capable of some hail the size of nickels and gusts to 50 miles per hour presently could be intensifying a little bit, I think, on the radar here. I think it could be getting stronger. Slightly larger hail than nickels might be possible. Perham by 7:23, it will be near your neck of the woods, and then on towards, I see a question, is Perham going to get rain? Here you go. There's your answer. Perham, thunderstorm with a hail is making its way towards you. At 7:23, it should be there, so about 20 minutes away from you. Sabika, 7:54. We'll check the timings. Let me know in the comments if this timing works for you, Mike. out there in the Perham area. I'd appreciate that. We'll clear out that manual track, and that's a look at that line of the storms. The warning has been expired for Fargo. Let me go ahead and time out the storms for you folks in Holly, Lake Park, Detroit Lakes, and Audubon. Here we go. Live coverage. I'm meteorologist Hutch Johnson. If you don't know or are unfamiliar with me, it's good to see you. Thank you for joining my channel. I'm a meteorologist with broadcasting experience as a chief meteorologist here in the region for the better part of 30 years. So been around doing this for quite a while, moving at 50 miles per hour. So I've got this clocked here at 48 miles per hour. This leading edge of storms is moving towards Detroit Lakes by 7:13. So you got 13 minutes. It's not severe right now, but you can expect some gusty straight line winds, upwards of 45 to maybe 50 miles per hour. Some isolated hail along this leading edge could be possible, but just south near Lake Cormorant and points south of there, there's a better chance at a little bit of hail. This little part of the core storm here has a backward C shape to it, so I do think it's accelerating faster, and it also could have some larger size hail now. It looks like it's intensifying just a little bit. That storm will move on towards Otter Tail City by 7:25. Then it's on towards the Henning area and Wadena after that if it maintains its current rate of speed. So there's some analysis of the storm system. Looks like that leading edge of rain now is moving back in with lots of thunder and lightning right into the FM area. This latest lightning strike here near Horace, between Horace and West Fargo, this one happened 6 minutes ago out there. That may have been the one that shook Hutch's house and windows here as it's working through. We've had a flash 2 minutes ago down here south of Horace, and another one out west of Horace here that was 2.8 minutes ago. So a little bit more lightning activity coming into the FM area right now as this storm pushes through, and a large swath of moderate to heavy rain that stretches all the way out through Barnes County is going to last for the better part of at least an hour, the way it looks right now. Northern Otter Tail County, stout thunderstorms. Let's get down to Millbank in South Dakota. And somebody was mentioning Lake Traverse. We do have a cell moving towards Browns Valley, Beardsley, Wilmot, and Ortonville. Right now, you can see these individual thunderstorm cells here, each of those capable of some hail that could be upwards of nickel size in diameter, and we do have the potential for some gusty winds from this. Herman, wow, there is a hail core here moving out towards Hoffman in Grant County. So if you're in Elbow Lake, just to the south of you, you've got a pretty good hail core making its way through that particular area right now too. So the watchers right now are as follows. Let me go ahead and I'm going to change the color of my pencil crayon here real quickly here. So let me go to the settings and let me go see if I can switch that up here. Sorry for that. Telestration, settings, bing. Let me pick a different pen color that shows up a little more gooder. I'm going to go with white. White shows up on all these colors that we got here. So let's go with that. Here is, well, I got to hit apply. There we go. So this is trouble area number 1. There's a highlight on this for some hail upwards of nickel in size, 50 mile per hour wind. It's increasing in intensity though a little bit since the update. That's going to move into north central parts of Otter Tail County, moving in that general direction of, say, Vergus right now. Elbow Lake and Grant County on the southern side of your county, we have a strong cell. The rest of this, just good old-fashioned heavy rain. So concern area number 2 is this area down here, where we do have some hail potential with those particular cells. And as we turn the telestrator off here and we move it up, I'll erase those. We do have trouble spot number 3 down here near Wilmot and Millbank area that does have some hail cores measured in them. No active warnings right now. So Hutch is going to take this opportunity to step aside. You're watching Hutch's weather. The risk of severe thunderstorms this morning is not super high, but a couple of these storms may fester up and become severe. Hail and gusty wind are the main threats. We're not worried about an outbreak of wild and strong or violent tornadoes with this system. Along the leading edge of the gust fronts, we could get some very gusty winds. As you saw earlier, peak wind gusts were ridiculous out in southwest North Dakota this morning, with gusts over 80 miles per hour reported in the southwestern part of the state. Greg says lots of thunder in the Glendon area. I'm hearing it here in Moorhead too. We do have some lightning strikes to the south of you. We got some lightning strikes to the west of Fargo, Horace, and that area taking place right now. So thunder, lightning, gusty wind, the main threat. Look at Grant County. Lightning picking up with this cell in southern Otter Tail County and Grant County right now. That looks like it's not far from the Doran area. As we take a look at the Dalton exit, rather, I'm sorry, and Elbow Lake, we got lightning right in your neck of the woods. 9 minutes ago, just south of town by less than a mile, it looks like on the old radar here. Fairmount and Richland County having some strikes in the last 10 minutes as well. So that's a look at what's going on. I appreciate your support. I appreciate you watching. I appreciate you passing on the good word. Remember, you can get the latest on hutchesweather.com anytime. Follow me on Facebook. Head over to my YouTube channel. Search Hutch's Weather on YouTube. I would love to have you subscribe there and build the subscriber base on my YouTube channel. Thanks again for watching. As always, stay tuned to me here on Hutch's Weather and my other platforms. Big time news coming from Hutch's Weather in the very near future. I cannot wait to pass this along. But for now, I'm meteorologist Hutch Johnson, wishing you a very, very good morning. And I will be back with updates throughout the day. More thunderstorms this afternoon are going to fire up in areas of Minnesota. I'll have the details on your forecast coming up on this channel